Welcome to Mitos Legendarios. Today we will descend into the darkest depths of the Bible, where the concept of hell is not just one, but three places of shadow, of waiting, of torment, and eternal fire. Three names that mark the difference between silence, suffering, and condemnation: Sheol, Hades, and Gehenna. Get comfortable, turn off the light, because the journey to the beyond has just begun. 1. Sheol, the silence of the earth. Imagine a world beneath ours, a shadowy realm where no light shines, where neither sun nor moon can enter. That place in the Hebrew tradition was called Sheol. Sheol is described as the common destiny of all the dead. Kings and beggars, righteous and wicked, no one escapes its call. It is not a place of fire, nor of torment, but of absolute silence. The book of Job describes it as the house of meeting for all the living. The Psalms call it the abyss of the shadow of death. In Sheol, there is no praising God, no conspiring, no struggle. There is only waiting. Some imagined it as a vast cavern beneath the earth, with doors that close behind the dead. A gray kingdom without air, where souls exist in a state almost like sleep, waiting for something that has not yet come, the final judgment. In other words, Sheol is the great deposit of souls, a neutral place where there is neither reward nor punishment, only waiting. But over time, ideas began to change, and that silent realm started to transform. 2. Hades, from silence to torment. When Hebrew culture encountered the Greek, Sheol was translated as Hades. But the Greek Hades was not just a waiting room, it was a complex world where the righteous found peace in the Elysian fields, and the unjust suffered torments in Tartarus. Thus a new vision was born. Hell was not only waiting, it could also be pain and punishment. In the Bible, Hades is no longer just silence. It appears as a place where the soul of the unjust feels conscious suffering. Jesus himself speaks of a rich man who, after dying, finds himself in Hades, tormented by flames, begging for a single drop of water to refresh his tongue. This detail marks a radical change. In Sheol, souls slept in the shadows. In Hades, souls burn in consciousness and in torment. Hades is therefore the first approach to hell as a place of punishment, a place where there is no longer silent waiting, but where the unjust suffer as they await the final judgment. The silence of Sheol has been broken, and what emerges is cry, pain, and despair. 3. Gehenna, the eternal fire. But the story does not end here. There is a third name, the most feared of all: Gehenna. Gehenna was not born as a spiritual idea, but as a real place. A valley south of Jerusalem called the Valley of Hinnom. In ancient times, human sacrifices were performed there, even of children, in honor of pagan gods like Moloch. That place was forever cursed. Over time, it became a burning garbage dump, where waste, animal carcasses, and impure remains were destroyed. A fire that never went out, a smoke that always ascended. When Jesus spoke of the final judgment, he used Gehenna as a metaphor. There the worm does not die and the fire is not quenched. Gehenna became the ultimate symbol of eternal punishment. It was no longer waiting, like in Sheol. It was no longer temporary torment, like in Hades. It was the final destiny of the condemned, a fire that never ceases, a place of absolute oblivion, where souls are consumed forever. 4. Three hells, three visions. Thus in the Bible there is not one single hell, but three layers of the same mystery. Sheol, the silence of the dead, the antechamber of judgment. Hades, the conscious torment of the unjust as they wait for their condemnation. Gehenna, the eternal fire, the final point of history. Three names intertwined, three ways of imagining what happens after death. And even today, scholars debate, are they distinct stages of the same destiny, or are they metaphors, symbols to teach us about justice and consequence? The truth is that, when looking into the biblical beyond, we do not see a single hell, but a progressive descent from silence to pain and from pain to eternal fire. Three visions that remind us of the fragility of life and the mystery that awaits beyond the grave. And you, what do you believe awaits us when everything ends? The endless sleep of Sheol, the torment of Hades, or the eternal fire of Gehenna? Leave me your answer in the comments. Subscribe for more journeys into the hidden and the forgotten. And remember, in Mythos Legendarios, there is always one more myth waiting to be told.